Baik,
Baik,
Assalamualaikum
Assalamualaikum
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
So, salam
So, salam
Jumaat.
Jumaat.
Now you are
Now you
inviting
are
to
inviting
present your
to present
culture
your culture
and heritage slides. Okay, so
and heritage
so
sites.
first presenter,
So, first presenter,
please welcome.
please welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello and good morning, my dear lecturer, Miss Hidayah binti Muhammad Fazil, and my dear friend. My name is Sakina binti Ahmad from Group 1. Would like to present our trip of with Iban. I hope you all are not bored with what my group members and enjoy it. Okay, next I will leave into friend to present the Iban title. Okay, let's go.
Madam ni Arina punya.
Sarawak, small portion in Sabah, and some west in Malaysia. A long time ago, being a very strong and successful warring tribe, the Ibans were a very fierce tribe in Borneo. They speak the Iban language. The Ibans from 30% of the state of population of 2.4 million. The Iban population is concentrated in Sarawak, Brunei, and in the West Kalimantan region of Indonesia. They live in the long houses called Rumah Panjang. Let's move to the map annotation.
Okay, I'm Christianity binti Abdullah. I'll be presenting about the map annotation of Ibans. According to the myth and legend, historically, Iban lived around the mouth of Kapuas River. They slowly moved upstream due to tribal indifference because of collection, and mostly inhabit the lowlands of Sarawak. Most of them are originally from Batang Lupa, Saribas River, and Kapuas region. They gradually moved in through the Rejang Valley, and most of them present in every district and division of Sarawak. I'll pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rabiatul Adawiyah binti Muhammad Rizan, and I will present culture and festival of Iban. Next slide. Culture in Iban, they live in long houses and built of X-horn timber tied with creeper fiber, roof with leaf thatch. The long covered gallery that runs the length of an Iban longhouses is called the Ruai. The Iban are a very democratic and egalitarian people. They also farming, and that was a major occupation for them. They grow cash crops such as pepper, rubber, cocoa, oil palm, and fruits. Hunting also the one of the culture in Iban tribes. They hunt wild animals in the forest, and they hunt by setting traps or using blowpipes such as in this slide, the picture. And nowadays, many hunting dogs are trained to hunt. Festival of Iban. Gawai Daya is main festival among all festivals, celebrated in 1st June every year and marking the end of the paddy harvesting season and the beginning of the new planting season. Gawai means festival. Gawai Daya bound the meaning of Dayak festival and held in longhouses. Their religion are animist and hold strongly to their traditional rituals and beliefs. Meanwhile, their traditional dance are ngajat. Their traditional music are tabuhan gendang, like in the picture.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Nabila binti Ramli. Next, I continue the part of my presentation. There is cuisine of food Iban Sarawak. Sarawak food is based on staples like rice, but there are many other ingredients and food preparation due to different geographical influence and indigenous culture which are quite different from the regional cuisine of Peninsula Malaysia. The uniqueness of Sarawak depends on its ethnic group. Each indigenous group in Sarawak has their own lifestyle tradition. Even traditional food there are many, but I choose the most popular. There are 4 types, namely medium vegetable, manuk panso, kasam ikan, and perkasam ensabi. Midin vegetable or kimidin is one of the village food that can be found at the edge of the bush. Kimidin will usually be cooked with sambal belacan. Manuk panso or chicken cooked in bamboo is also one of the traditional food of the Iban people. Usually the Iban people we use all chicken to make panso. Kasam ikan or perkasam is very well known to the Iban tribes. It is not valid for the Iban tribe to serve food without pickle on the side. Perkasam ensabi, the favorite traditional food of the Iban people, is a mustard vegetable that is made into pickle to make it sour. That's all for me. I pass to my friend Sakina Ahmad.
Okay, my name is Sakina binti Ahmad. Again, I collect of costume. Ngibat if woman concept of 4 is one is traditionally woman's skirt called kain kebat. 2 adalah sugu tinggi headdress. 3 adalah ramai tinggi head corset. And 4 adalah silver lampet bags. Okay, accessory with a 6 of yang first is stone cap earring. 2 tumpak perak silver bracelets. 3 silver necklace. 4 leg bracelet called 17 buncai. And 5 a colorful choose embellishment called Mary Empang. And last selampai. Next. Okay, ngipan laki men. It consists of first short sleeve and called kelambi. 2 sirat loincloth embroidered with embroidered motif at the end of the fabric. 3 a parailang or even sword, and 4 belt necklace and necklace made from silver, and last labor turban style headgear. I want to pass to Amira.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Amira Shafia binti Arpian. I'll be present about marriage culture of Iban people. The best thing to hold in life is a quote for my presentation, which is marriage. First, the courtship. Sometimes the consent of several parties is very important, such as the blessing from the parents to enter the realm of marriage or the decision from the person we want to marry. Same as Iban culture, as well as the boy's parents agree with the girl, then the boy's parents make a proposal on behalf of his son. The son insists on marrying girl of his choice is acceptable. The boy should take initiative to ngayap the girl he interested in. Ngayap is a practice that enables a boy or a girl to get to know and express their feelings on each other. If the response is positive, there is no objection by the girl's parents. If there are disagreements, it will be discussed in a proper manner. Next, the proposal. This will happen when the boy's parents agree in suitability of the girl. Then they will send a message through a messenger, and it is berbunga kajaku, that literally to reveal a desire or intention, and beribut kajaku, that literally to bring wide news. Next slide. Next, the boy family will bring a delegation to propose to the girl, openly known as Nanya Indu, means favorable response. To suit is examined to determine the kinship relationship of the boy and the girl. Third, the bride will. Durian and the bunga pinang attached to it varies from one area to another, or according to the social status of the couple. Fourth, the ceremony. A few weeks before the day of marriage ceremony, called Melah Pinang, both family will prepare the food and the drink for the marriage celebration. Temuku Tali is an invitation. They will extend invitation to the relatives and close friends. And the last one is the blessing ceremony. The Bebiau ceremony is when the couple dress in traditional costumes and sit side by side on two tawa, known as brass gong. Holding and waving the cork by their head, reciting prayer of blessing is called Lemambang. Is a performance for the Bebiau ceremony. Lemambang will end his prayer by saying, Gayu Guru Celap Lindap Gerai Nyamai Lantang Senang, which means a long, healthy, tranquil, cool, contented, and comfortable life. Wish the couple a happy married life is a significant for this ceremony. Next, I'll give to Kristayanti.
Okay, come back to me. I'll be presenting about the tables of Ibans. There are many tables, but I picked 6 of them. The first one is avoid conflict. Iban people are taught to avoid conflict by any means necessary. The second one will be the silent omen. When they're fishing, they cannot say they're fishing. If they say, they won't be able to fish any fish. The third one is pregnancy and birth. Regarding this one, there are many of them. I just pick one. They must not cut creepers which grow over water. If they do, the wife will suffer from hemorrhage while giving birth. And the fourth one will be the death roaming. They believe that when it rains while the sun is still up, it is the moment for death spirits, ghosts, and giants go out for hunting, and they hunt for humans. The Number 5 will be the bloody house. They're sacrificing animals before beginning a construction. They will Number 6, portal story. When they are going hunting or walking into a jungle and they hear a chirping sound made by the bird calling burung ketepung, they should turn back as it symbolizes bad luck, and if they continue lurking in the jungle, they will get hurt. That's all from me. I'll pass to the Arina.
Okay, but before the conclusion, I want to say not much is known about Iban people before the arrival of the Western expedition to Asia. Okay, the conclusion is we have to appreciate every culture. Every races have different and it also have uniqueness culture. For Iban's race, they also have some unique culture in terms of dance, even have ngajat. They also have unique clothes which is called Ngepan and Sirat. Ibans was the largest of Sarawak ethnic group. The Ibans form 20% of the state population of 2.5 million. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you for lending me your ears. Thank you for your attention and patience. I hope you guys have learned about this Iban tribe. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for our first group, Iban tribe. So a very lovely presentation. Then we will continue with the next group, which is Orang Asli. All right, thank you.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه. البدر كطلعته وجه جميل والشمس كبسمته ظل ظليل هو عبد الله سيد الخلق ومصطفاه وحبيب الله خير مبعوث بوحي الله مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه. هو خير عباد الله خير البرايا حي فينا بهداه حلو الوصايا نسألك الله أن تجمعنا يوما برسول الله من كوثره يروينا فتقبل يا ربا مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل
Okay, Assalamualaikum and selamat pagi, salam Jumaat. Salam Jumaat. So you are the second group, orang asli. Okay, so you may start your presentation now.
That's right. Can you hear my voice? That's right. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, can. Sure.
That's my.
Hello.
That's my. Dengar tak?
Yes, can. Boleh dengar, madam dengar.
Okay, proceed.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to everyone. We are from the group of Orang Asli Peninsula in Malaysia. We would like to make a presentation today on the subject of cross culture and heritage tourism and to the community of Hidayah and all my friends. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is the context of this template presentation we have today. Okay, next. Okay, today we are present today with a quantity value of 5 people and friends. These are members of our group. Without further ado, we will proceed to the first agenda to present by me. Okay, next page. Okay, Aboriginal Malay is a generic word used officially in Malaysia to refer indigenous people who occupy the land of the peninsula since the beginning of time. Officially, there are at least 18 feet from the Orang Asli in Peninsular Malaysia. They are categorized into 3 main groups based on the genetic origins. First, Semang or Negrito can usually be found in the range as far as the north part of the peninsula. Second, Senoi, settled in the central part of the peninsula. Third, Proto-Malay or Melayu Asli, settled in the southern region of the peninsula. Okay, next page. Okay, the existence of Orang Asli in Malaysia is no stranger. There is an Orang Asli Museum board to provide information and general knowledge about the existence and culture of the Orang Asli in Malaysia. For example, the Gombak Orang Asli Museum, about 25 km north of Kuala Lumpur, are the Orang Asli Museum. Museum can also be found in several places in Malaysia. Now in Malaysia, there is possibility of managing customary land development welfare and Orang Asli Affairs is under the Department of Orang Asli. Okay, next page. We can see the table show a breakdown of the 3 main groups. First, Negrito, Senoi, and Proto-Malay. Okay, thank you. I will pass the next presenter, Najwa.
Hello, hi, my name is Nur Najwa Wafdia binti Arizmi. So, I talk about map and location. Next slide. Indigenous settlement in the Malay Peninsula have various places in all areas, including Pahang, Melaka, Selangor, and other. So, I list 3 Aboriginal village place. The area I have listed is a small village, Orang Asli only. The first you can see at the map, in Aboriginal village area Sungai Lembing at Perak. Next slide. The second is in the village of Sungai Berua located in Kuala Berang, Terengganu. Next slide. And the latter is located in Aboriginal village Solok Terentang Selanda Jasin at Melaka. Next slide. I pass to Zaidania to talk about culture and festival. Thank you. Thank you.
Test mic, madam, can you hear me? Hello? Test mic?
Yes, can. Yes, can. Zaidaniel? Yes, can.
Alright.
Zaidaniel? You may
Boleh
proceed.
dengar tak, madam?
Boleh.
Hello?
You may proceed. Boleh.
Boleh boleh dengar All right. Okay. So for the culture of the indigenous culture that they practices every day, same goes to Malaysian indigenous people. They have their artwork, they have their handicraft, they have their tabus, they have their customs as well. Since the amount of indigenous people in Malaysia is decreasing, so the Malaysia Department of Orang Asli Affairs built a museum to preserve the relics of cultural universality is found in all human societies. This includes expressive forms such as art, music, dance, ritual, religion, and technology, such as the use of tools, cooking, shelter, and clothing. Alright, so in the slide, as we can see, the mask. This is all the indigenous craft food lah. This is the mask they handmade, and this is the basket that they make from the rotan tree. So basically, their daily activity is hunting by blowpiping, and they catch fishing. That is most of their daily routine to hunt for food. Okay, next slide. For the ritual, all right. One, basically, in the indigenous people have a lot of ritual in their belief, but this is one of the ritual that they believe is by placing the corpse on the tree. This is one of them. This is one of the ritual that they always practices. When one of the so basically, when this ritual is when one of the family has fallen sick, they will leave the settlement area and head to the middle of the forest, and then they will stop walking if one of the family member is sick and can't even bear to walk anymore. Then the other family member will build shelf on the tree using the forest timber. So even though there's a lot of timber and sticks and a lot of lumber inside the forest, but they always choose the strong and the best lumber that they can accommodate and to weight the shelf and the dead body, and then they will wait the patient to die, the family member to die. Then they will leave soon, because in their belief, every death is a disaster and may summon any demons and any bad spirits. After that, they will clear the area by chopping down the trees and cutting down the bush as the sign that there is a dead body at that area. In the end, they will recite incantations obtained from the ancestor, as far as from the recite just now is also more to apply the spirits of the forest to protect the body from interference of wild animals that also inhabit the forest. Alright, next slide. Alright, so for the dance, indigenous people have a lot of is the Sewang dance. The Sewang dance is a traditional dance performed by the Aboriginal Orang Asli people of Malaysia. Originally, the dance actually was performed to cure sickness, to cure wound, to treat sick people, for the funeral, and for the Thanksgiving. But now, since we are in the modernity, now this dance also used to entertain foreign travelers. So basically, it's involved dancing in a circle to music produced from a crab dance. This Bangkang crab dance is actually an art of the Seletar Orang Asli who live in Baka Batu, Johor. The Bangkang crab is called Yoksang in the Orang Asli language of Seletar. Among the dance steps are crab such as pitching, running crab, messing up, crab joke, and repel crab, as well as like waving, snooping, pedals lah. That's why it called Bangkang crab dance. Alright, okay, so for the next slide. Indigenous clothing. Alright, we go to the clothing. So basically, as we all know, the indigenous people who often live in the jungle usually wear clothes made from animal skin, tree barks, and grass to make as a skirt. They don't have any fabric over there. They don't have any like that can be found in the city. No, they all use all the what they can found in the jungle. They use that as to clothing. All right, I will my present. Next presenter.
Haris Hazwan, you
Harit,
are
mic off.
unmute.
Harit, your mic off.
You are
Hello?
okay. Can
Hello?
hear.
Hello, my name is Ali Azwan. Today I want to talk about cuisine or food. Some group of orang asli in Peninsular Malaysia are able to survive in the jungle for years without resorting of the cultivation of any crops. They rely on a variety of tubers, rotten roots, different kind of the jungle fruits and many other jungle shrubs and vegetables as their staple diet. For example, for the Negritos, white tubers are basic of their diet, cooked in a variety of ways. Some other tribes, such as the Chamia, cultivate two staple crops, hill rice and tapioca. Other vegetation such as millet, bananas, maize, which is a corn, and other vegetables are also grown. Some tribes also domesticate animals, mostly chicken for domestic consumption. In this slide, Sabah Rabu Pinasakan, Johor, and Butat. At Sarawak, we have Ayam Pansuk, Umai, Senamu. Lastly, we have Sumai Lemantap. This is Sabah and Sarawak cuisine food. Apart from that, in Sabah, we can also see indigenous foods that have been popular or that have become something to try for people who want a new taste of the food. Is like Hinava, Ambuyat, Barabu, Peanut Sakan, Tuhap, and lastly Butat, which is a sago larva. First, Hinava. Hinava Ginapan or simply Hinava is one of the Kadazan Dusun tribe's most famous traditional meals. Fresh fish fillets are blended with grated bambangan seeds, red chili, ginger, onion, lime and salt in this meal. Hinava is unique in the dish that the fish fillet does not need to be fried with is added. Next, Ambuyat. This dish is known as linut in Sabah and Sarawak. However, this meal is commonly referred to as Ambuyat. This dish is well known in Borneo states like Sabah and Sarawak, as well as Brunei. Ambuyat is a classic Filipino meal made using the stem of palm sago, a starchy ingredient. Although the flavor and method of consumption are distinct, the pleasure is usual. It's eaten using a bamboo fork called a chandas, which is used to roll the starch around the fork point before dipping it in the sauce. Sauce come in a variety of flavors, some of which include belacan or boiling fish gravy. Next is Barabo. The Bugis tribe of Sabah has a traditional cuisine called Barabo or Barabo. In a nutshell, this Barabo is a chicken are the main ingredient. There are a variety of ways to prepare it as well. Some contain a lot of vegetables, while others use belacan, but the process isn't too difficult. This recipe is filling as well as delicious. Next is peanut sakan. Peanut sakan sadar is a native Sabah dish popular among the Kadazan and Dusun tribes. Because sadar in this context refer to the fish, this peanut sakan is typically served with basung fish. Turmeric, takot-takot, salt, and bambangan fruit are also used to make peanut sakan sadar. If served with white rice and sambal, this dish will be much more delectable. Next, tuhau. Tuhau is a typical Sabah dish prepared by the Kadazan Dusun people. It's a type of orange derived from the tuhau tree, which is a type of white ginger. This is and whether or not you can resist, it depends on the owner of the body. However, the nutrients in this dish, which is frequently served as an appetizer, are abundant. Next is butot. Next is butot. Butot is a worm that is found in the sago plum tree. We want to point out that the sago plum is also the source of the sago starch, which is used for a gooey dish called ambuyat. You need extra courage to swallow a wiggling butot, which is a sago worm. At the first bite, it is like a capsule, and then the magic happens as it bursts and fills your mouth with protein fluid that is as creamy as cod liver oil. Next, Sarawak. In addition, in Sarawak, we can also see indigenous foods that have been popular or that have become something to try for people who want a new taste of the food, such as ayam pansuh, umai, senamu, and on ayam pansuh is one of Sarawak's most well-known delicacies as it may be considered the food icon for state. Ayam pansuh means a chicken which is raised in bamboo over an open fire. Next, umai. Umai is unique in Sarawak, especially in Muka and Dalat, where many Melanau population. Umai has initially been a food convenience for Melanau fishermen on fishing trips to the sea. Traditionally, umai is thinly sliced raw fish marinated with asam paya, sour fruit of a white plum or lime juice, onions, chilies, and salt pinch. Next, senamu. The senamu is considered the best cuisine of the Lun Bawang community as of now, only served during important celebration and wedding ceremonies. Your jam is normally fried with sliced shallots, chopped garlic, chopped chilies, and cooked until perfect. Ingredients including fresh game meat, chilies, plain salt, and rice. Last, we have sumal lemantak. Sumal lemantak or shrimp wrapped in oil palm leaf or nipah leaf. The Malay community in Sarawak usually live near the banks of the river, making seafood their important source of the protein. Sumal lemantak is widely found in Malay in rural areas, especially in Kabong, Pusa, Meludan, and Saratok. Sumal lemantak has become one of the most sought after foods, become almost unavailable on weekdays. Sumal lemantak is only available and served 24 hours during major celebration and wedding ceremonies. Ingredients include such as fresh river fish, cooked rice, sago, flour, and salt. Okay, I want to pass the next presenter.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Clear tak?
Okay.
Waalaikumsalam. Clear.
Thank you, Harith. Assalamualaikum, madam. My name is Amy Shazwani. I want to talk about marriage, tradition, or orang asli. Okay. Most of the society of orang asli get married of their early age. For men, 18 years old, and for girls, 16 years old. The girl cannot be all the men regarding their tradition. Marriage tradition or orang asli have 8 steps. Next slide. First step is praying. Praying this ritual is important in their belief to make sure that their marriage is safe, bliss, and happy ever after. The second point, meminang ceremony. Parents prepare of the groom to bring pure gold ring, makeup, kitchen equipment, and other necessity, and they set date of the wedding. The next point is tanggung nafkah ceremony. The groom need to give money, around 50 ringgit each month to breed and any material, kitchen and dining item delivered to the bride home according the agreement. Next slide. The point next is bertunang. The groom is required to provide and prepare a catering thing for son to be bride to use on the day get married. First, a pillow and metal one set, three set of change of colorful with no pattern. Bridal choose one pair. The groom also need to prepare himself the catering thing just like the bride. First, kopiah or songkok black color one, kain selempang dada or selendang one, pakaian Melayu complete with samping one set, choose one pair. The day of wedding, they bring in each other home. Concubine for the bride, the groom need to have a haircut. Both bride and the groom need to take a lemon bath with talisman or spell to avoid disaster. Next slide. The next point is ceremony movement. The walk is accompanied by music, viola, rebana, gong, and will end with pantun from both sides. The next point is sprinkler or sowing. The front of the roof is banana leaf. Once the groom at front door of the bride house. Before getting the groom will be splashed with drop of water on the banana leaf. Sprinkler will purchased by the bride family. The bersanding point is after the groom arrives, father of the bride will open the curtain where the bride is sitting on bridal desk waiting for him. The groom will be sit next to bride. They will feeding each other nasi kunyit or nasi damai and daun sirih. Avoid taboo point during the next point is avoid taboo. Avoid taboo during marriage is nyenang power, nyarik, jet, mai tepas, ludat, and guning. That's all for me. I pass to next presenter to Ain Zulaika.
Madam, Ain Zulaika is having poor connection. Madam, you tak unmute.
Alright, so I see. So maybe one of you can help her by present her slide.
Alright, okay. Harith, next slide. Alright. So basically, I'm presenting is about the taboos of these indigenous people. Okay. So basically, the social science have enlarged the definition of taboo to include strict prohibition relating to any area of human activity or habit that is sacred or forbidden based on the moral judgment, religion belief, or cultural norms. All right. So without further ado, I will just go straight to the taboos. The first is while in the forest, orang asli are not allowed. The indigenous people are not allowed to sleep at the confluence or river, tributary or near the river. Next, cannot making noise and talking things related to other realms in the forest. Other than that, mounds, trees, and rocks should not be touched and cannot be cut down trees without necessities. Lastly, throw away trash in the forest also is not allowed. That is the first taboos. Now, secondly, the taboos that related about giving birth. When the wife is pregnant, when the indigenous woman is pregnant, there are a few things that both parents should avoid to secure the baby and ensure that the baby is born healthy. They are not allowed to approach tortoise. I don't know how it pronounced tortoise. You know, the like a turtle, tortoise, monkeys, or snakes, which they believe could harm the baby. Anyone from the father's family, okay, the father's family is not allowed to install nails, anything in the house. Other than that, they are not permitted to be close who are deaf. Also, venison, pig, and partridge meats are forbidden to eat. Furthermore, there are also taboos for mother. Just now is the father, and now the mother, which is during the postpartum the period, because their body is still in weak condition to handle more foods to digest all of it. So they cannot eat cooking oil, they cannot consume salt, they cannot consume monosodium glutamate and sugar to prevent age and pains in their future and to avoid sawan in Bahasa Melayu. We call it sawan and convulsions. Okay, so that is the second taboos. For the third taboos, other than that, there are also taboos in marriage. First of all, the day of the marriage. The day of having the marriage, the bride and the groom need to henna, berinai, to henna at their own houses. The groom also need to cut their hair. After that, both of them need to take bath in water with few lemon slices that have been spelled for a good cause. Because in their belief, because they have been bathed with spiritual lemon water, there are a few rules that each of these people, these indigenous people, have to follow. For the next 3 days, they are not permitted. They are not permitted to leave their village. They cannot leave their village because afraid of being disturbed by the evil spirits. For the same reason, they are not allowed to leave their village for 7 days. Followed by that bride and the groom have to wear their lovely bridal gowns to their respective home, because the bride will wear a wedding gown that is called salin tiga, which was given by the groom. Alright, so we go to without further ado, we go to the last taboos. This is the last taboos. The last taboos is about that related to death. So earlier, a person must stay beside the corpse every time. Okay, they cannot bury the corpse during the night. Other indigenous people are not encouraged to go into the woods to do the work, because just now, like as I mentioned, because to avoid summoning any demons and spirits. Okay. After that, besides, when someone in the village died, everyone in the village need to gather around in the house to decease the person, to decease the dead body. The body will be buried on the next day. Therefore, until the morning, all the villagers will stand guard in the at the house to decease, to ensure that no evil spirit or negative energy that will come through the house. All right. Then I think that's all for the death taboos. All right. Then we go lastly to the next presenter.
Okay. For the conclusion, they urge recognition of their right to land, right to determine the kind of development, right to indigenous education and way to life, and right to equal access to basic facilities. Specifically, in the case mentioned, it is hoped that the government of Malaysia will take positive action to figure 15. Orang asli village located at the different state boundary 100 orang asli in Peninsula Malaysia resolve the issue raised The government of Malaysia various surveys to the orang asli communities cater in the remote areas in Peninsula Malaysia, such as general health care, maternity of infant care, dental care, police security, accommodation and education. These surveys are provided through various agencies such as JHEOA, Kementerian Kesihatan, Jabatan Daftaran Malaysia and Polis Diraja Malaysia. Information on the individuals such as maternity checkups, schedule of injection, is useful in planning such as arranging visit to the remote communities. So far, that's all from our group. We expect the explanation from our group be well understood. If anything is wrong or mistake, we are sorry and apologize. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Orang Asli Tribe, a very good presentation. Yeah, I can see some of you have a fluent in English speaking, so that is good. Yeah, I can understand what you want to deliver. Okay, the message is already achieved and received successfully. Yeah, I understand what you want to deliver. Thank you very much to this group, Orang Asli Tribe. Then we may proceed to the next group.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه. البدر كطلعته وجه جميل والشمس كبسمته ظل ظليل. هو عبد الله سيد الخلق ومصطفاه وحبيب الله خير مبعوث بوحي الله. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه. هو خير عباد الله خير البرايا حي فينا بهداه حلو الوصايا. نسألك الله أن تجمعنا يوما برسول الله من كوثره يروينا فتقبل يا رباه. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله
Assalamualaikum. Good morning. I'm sorry, my laptop big lag sikit. Okay, so you may open your camera. Group from Ainu, Japan.
Madam, madam.
Yes.
Saya share slide tapi kamera laptop saya tak boleh buka.
Oh, okay, it's okay, tak apa. You just open speaker saja nanti bila nak present. Okay?
Okay, madam.
Alright. Alia Alisa.
Ya, saya.
Tengah share slide ke?
Belum, baru nak share.
Alright, okay.
Nampak ke, madam?
Yes, nampak. Okay, your group may proceed their presentation. So the stage is yours. Please welcome. What slide share? Tekan slide share. Okay, may start now.
Dah boleh mulakan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to all of you. Today our group would like to present our title about Ainu in Japan. This is our content that we will present later. This is our group members. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Nur Alalisa binti Imran. I would like to present about history of Ainu. What is Ainu? The Ainu are a people indigenous to the lands of northern Japan. They have a cultural background somewhat different from that of the Yamato Japanese who have been inhabiting most of the rest of Japan. Ainu means human in their own language, separate from Japanese. The Ainu populated Hokkaido, parts of Honshu, the Kurili Islands, and Sakhalin, but today they live mostly in Hokkaido. They were later gradually displaced and assimilated when the Yamato Japanese expanded their territory from western Japan northwards over the past 1,500 years. I will pass the next slide to Zairul Izzati.
Hello, my name is Zairul Izzati. I will present about map and location. The green area in this map is the Ainu tribe population. According to historical record, there are only small number of pure blood in Ainu who still exist, but year after year the number continue to decrease. Next slide. Anu location is able in two different countries. First is in Japan. The location is Hokkaido and Tohoku. And the secondly is in Russia. The location is in Sakhalin, Kuril Island, and Kamchatka. The Kuril Island is divided into two, which is North and Southern. I will pass to the next presenter, Ara.
Sorry for the sound. Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Syamil Salam Temanso. So I want to talk about culture and festival of Ainu people. Okay. First, the Bear Festival. It's called Lomante. Lomante is the most important ritual. In that festival, they did the spiritual liberation of a trapped bear spirit. The spiritual liberation of a trapped bear spirit. The word Lomante literally means to send something or someone off. In Japanese, the ceremony known as sending off the bear, which is they call it Kumaokuri or sometimes Kumamatsuri, means bear festival. Okay, whereas the bear was raised for 2 years from a cob and then sacrificed in ways that now would be considered as inhuman by today's standard. Why bear? This is because bear were considered as sacred by the Ainu people. So as the result, the sacrificial bear was seen as a gift of food, fur, and bone from Kimun Kamoi, which is the bear god, and the bear spirit was able to depart for the land of the ghosts. Through the sacrifice, bear depart for the land of the gods. Okay. Next, Ainu dances. Ainu dances are meant to mimic the natural movement and aid the Ainu in communing with Kamui. Kamui is the divine entities who live on the land. In Japan, the ancient Ainu dances are important intangible cultural properties, and they are also part of UNESCO intangible cultural heritages. And they perform these dances for both entertainment and ceremonial purposes. Okay, next page. Okay, Ainu tattoos. Unlike in modern Japan, tattoo were not considered the mark of delinquent, which means nakal. Delinquent is nakal. And female Ainu started obtaining tattoos when they were 10 years old. Okay. These include prominent tattoos on the face and the hand. The marks were purposely increased until they were almost 16 years old. Okay, and the tattoos as well were a sign of marriageability. Okay, the last one is Kotanomi. Kotanomi is a modern take on traditional Ainu rite, in which participants pray for the well-being of their house and villages. And attendees can watch a circle dance, listen to traditional Ainu music during the ceremony, and then that's all about culture and festival of Ainu people. I'll pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Madam, I can open my camera. I try to open, tapi tak boleh.
Oh, I see. It's okay. Tak apa. Guna mic je.
Alright, so I will continue. My name is Nurfara Hidayah binti Shakarizal. I will present about the cuisine of Ainu people. Traditionally, the Ainu hunted, forage, and fish. The men will be out fishing and hunting, and the women gather edible wild plants. The men hunted deer, bear, fox, barber, and other wild animals, and fish for trout and salmon commonly. The women collected edible wild plants such as roots, nuts, and berries. Next slide. Ainu food ethic. The men used chopstick, and then the women had wooden spoons. Ainu rarely eat lunch. They only ate 2 times per day, which is breakfast breakfast and dinner. And then for spiritual and manners, before take a meal, Ainu family will left full trays near the hearth as an offering to God. After requested God permission to eat, they finally take dishes to eat. In their manners, Ainu people or guests will be remain calm and quiet to honor God. Ainu will offerings before each meal and return their bonds to shrines. The shrine is called Keio Nuisi. Next slide. Japanese known to eat raw fish such as sashimi and sushi. But Ainu, even though they're Japanese, they eat boiled, grilled, and cooked food. Even plants, they eat cooked plants which steam, boiled, or roasted. And then in Japan, they're known with their fifth taste known as umami, known commonly in Japanese cuisine. Differently, Ainu has their own umami, which is called kombu. This kombu is a type of edible crab called dashi kombu, found around Hokkaido's underwater forest. 1,000 years ago in Japan, it was prohibited to kill animals because of influence by Buddhism. There was no fat at all. It forces Ainu and Japanese to discover new ingredients. Next slide. Millet. Millet is a small seeded grasses. It's the same as rice for us. Ainu ate millet every day with side dishes like meat or fish or plants. Millet made as rice, porridge, and even dumplings. And then ohau or soup. In Ainu language, soup was called ohau. Soup will be cooked with various ingredients such as meat or fish in a hot pot. Next slide. And then chitata means pounded, similar as Japanese tataki. Meat or fish will be pounded and chopped, and then beaten with heavy object. Chitata is kind of food eaten in winter. And then rata skip means mixed food. Rata skip considered as sacred food of Ainu as well as ceremony food, made with alpine leaf plants and were stood until soft, then become liquid and will become a mixture texture. The mixture texture then mashed and seasoned with meat as bear or fish as or trout. Next slide. Maple ice candy. Maple ice candy made with heaping frozen white syrup. White syrup will drip from the maple tree, and then they will collect the dripping syrup after place containers of sorrel stalks under the maple tree. And then the last one, millet beer. Ainu influenced by the culture of Japanese, as Japanese used to trade rice and sake with Ainu. Sake is a Japanese beer or something. And after that, many slaves become alcoholic because of the sake. And then sake replaced with millet beer. Millet beer also was a sacred drink for their ancestors. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Okay, who's the next presenter?
Hey, madam.
All right, okay. You may
I will
proceed.
continue. Okay. I will continue to the clothes of Ainu. There are different kinds of Ainu clothing depending on the material, design patterns, and regional characteristics. Clothing is also divided based on the age and gender of the intended wear and the occasion. Some clothes are worn during daily life and work, while others are intended to be worn at rituals. Okay. There are different clothes and customs of Ainu. First of all is hide and fur, which is the clothes made of animal hides and furs. Second is made by fish skin, clothes made of animal hides and furs. The third one is bark, the clothes made of the plant fibers. And the fourth is grass, clothes made of the cotton. Furthermore, this cloth is made of cotton, and this one is not just China. It's made by foreign clothes. The last one is the Honshu clothes, which is a foreign clothes. I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Asmana Jahabinti Abu Hassan Sha'arin. I will talk about marriage of Ainu people. From the age of 12, every Ainu woman was started a long process of tattooing, marking the lips, hands, and arms over a 3-year period. Usually in around age 15 or 16, the process of tattoo was complete and the woman was eligible for marriage. Neck tattooing was a woman's domain and only women tattooed each other. Besides that, some marriage are arranged by the parents and others are by mutual consent of the prospective spouse. Next slide. When a man wanted to propose to a woman, he went to her house where a simple procedure was conducted to decide whether they would to be engaged. Then the girl would serve her fiancé a bowl of rice and he would eat half the rice and hand the bowl back to the girl. If the girl took kindly to this gesture and finished the other half of rice, that was taken as a sign of acceptance of the proposal. If otherwise, if otherwise, the girl put the rice down next to her and ignoring it, it was mean a rejection. Arriving on the wedding day, the couple will repeat the rice bowl ritual for the second time, with both parties finishing halfway. Next, after being awarded a child, the baby will be given a nickname for a while until around the age of 2 or 3 years. After that, they will give a permanent name to the baby. That's all from me. We move to the next presenter.
Okay, who's the next presenter?
Alia Raihan.
Okay, Alia Raihan. You may
Sorry,
start.
madam. I will continue the taboos of Ainu.
Okay. Madam rasa Alia Raihan internet lag. Okay, Alia Raihan internet lag. It's okay, we wait for 20 seconds. Okay, Alia. Here we go.
Madam, I think dia punya line teruk lah.
Okay. Maybe one of you can help her by present her slide.
Okay, I will cover her.
Okay, sure.
We go through to the taboos of Ainu. The first one is cut in lines. When you visit Japan, maybe you will often see people wait for their in line. For example, you are waiting for train on station platforms, at convenience stores, in front of restaurant and at restrooms. Next, the second one is talk loudly and talk on the phone on the train. It making a noise, talk louder on the train and bus, trying to keep the quiet space on the public transportation. And the third one is wear shoes indoors. Take off your shoes at the entranceway. Outdoor shoes make the room dirty, so they should be replaced with indoor slippers. The fourth, working while in crowded place. Working while eating, recognized as rude behavior in Japan. 5. Have crazy party outside. Drunk people are recognized as super crazy people and really hate by Japanese. 6. Walk side by side and block the sidewalk. It sometimes happens that are engaged in looking around the view or talking to friends while walking on the street. For example, don't walk side by side and don't block the sidewalk. Next, wear too much scent. It's wearing perfume or cologne is not very popular thing among Japanese compared to other countries. Last but not least is conclusion. First, for nearly 100 years, the Ainu people lived in Japan under a policy of extinction by assimilation. Second, Ainu culture is on the brink of extinction. It seems that more and more effort is going into bringing it back to life. And the last one is, since the depth of the Ainu culture and language can't be expressed in so few words, I recommend you guys will reading more about them or if possible experiencing Ainu culture for yourself. That's all from us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I love your slides. Very beautiful, creative, and professionals. So I like it. Thank you very much for the presentation. Maybe some of your members have a lost connection with the internet, but you managed to be representative for her. So thank you very much and nice slide, beautiful slide. Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه. البدر كطلعته وجه جميل والشمس كبسمته ظل ظليل هو عبد الله سيد الخلق ومصطفاه وحبيب الله خير مبعوث بوحي الله مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه. هو خير عباد الله خير البرايا حي فينا بهداه حلو الوصايا نسألك الله تجمعنا يوما برسول الله من كوثره يروينا فتقبل يا ربا مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Good morning. Salam Jumaat. Alright, so you're from group Alex, Alaska. Okay. The stage is yours. You may represent now. Please welcome.
Okay. Hello, madam dengar tak?
Yes. Okay, Madam dengar.
Okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. My name is Aisyah Ruzahira. My name is Aisyah Ruzahira. Sekejap, madam. Madam, kenapa suara berlapis?
Madam dengar okay je.
Oh ya.
So maybe one of you masa kawan tengah present boleh tutup mic, boleh tutup speaker. Okay. Alright, you may start now.
Oh, okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. My name is Aisyah Ruzahira binti Muhammad Fizri from Intik Jun. Student ID 2020-05-201 Dumai. Before I proceed further with a great pleasure, I would like to introduce my fellow colleague. Next slide. The first one, Nur Amira Izzati. The first one, Nur Amira Izzati, Shuhada Ain, Afrina Damia, Izzian Farah Yaauni, and Nur Nadira. For the purpose of this presentation, we delegate certain topics for everyone in this group to present. We will share about elite peoples in terms of their culture, their language, their food, and etc. As for myself, I will give an introduction about elite tribes. The earliest known human occupation is about 9,000 years ago into the Alaskan Peninsula. Elite is name given to the Unangan by the Russian fur traders. They are people who rely on the sea for their livelihood. That is why they are also known as Unangan or seasiders. They hunt the seals, whales, sea lion, sea otter, and walrus too, while the women in charge so gathering fish, birds, wild plants, and etc. They also weaving basketry. Next, I would like to invite Nur Amira Izzati to give her presentation.
Hi, my name is Nur Amira Izzati binti Syafri Saidi. Can you hear me? Is it clear? Clear. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the Algerian people history, and the first point is about earliest non-human occupation Algerian region is about to know in 9,000 years ago. And this is because of archaeological sites of this age have been found only in the ancient Algerian. It is clear that the first movement into the island can occur from the Alaska Peninsula westward. And the first people who moved into the region were descendants of the first migrant from Siberian into Alaska. And this person was the one who caused the Ice Age island connection between the two hemispheres that called Bering Land Bridge, which exists until about 12,000 years ago. Proceed to the second point about Anangular tradition. It was occupations from the island currently continues, although relatively few archaeological sites and it was known until some 4,000 years ago, and some research see a late angular period from about 7,000 to 4,000 years ago. Linking earlier with material with the materials, whatever the present natures of these transitions, by 5,500 years ago, it was clear that the new start of this present is Allegheny Island, marking beginning in the Allegheny tradition, which lasts until the European arrival in the region in 1741. Next is the third point, which is about understanding archaeological period. So for this point, the most fully understood archaeological period in the region of Eleusinian tradition is sits at numerous sites throughout the archipelago. It's called archipelago. They are often characterized by deep deposits of the midden. The bone and the slippery, I think it was pronounced by slippery, byproduct of daily life because of the chemistry of midden and the bone artifact and the bone food. Reviews can be dissected in the early angular tradition. Next is the last point about stone tool technology. During the Eleusinian tradition, less of cords and blades of former times, instead of focusing and manufacturing unofficial tool site resource tools, unofficially touching continues well with the two stone chipping technologies producing a wide array, knives, scrapers, projectile points, and adze. Adze, also known as woodworking tools. After that, bone and ivory tools are well represented in the Midden deposit. These include many kinds of battle harpoon or spearhead for the sea mammals, braid, fish handles, and knife scrapers. And the two fish footwell vertebra form items of personal decoration such as nosepin and typical usage has a hardware and hard returning head to the leafage from itself. A pair of head fits it to the shaft and in the handheld device. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tumira. Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm Afrina from Intake June. I would like to proceed the presentation. So where does the Aleutian tribe live? You might know Alaska as So you might know Alaska as the 49th state of US, and yes, they live there, but where were they originated? They were actually, as you guys could see on the map, they were actually discovered at Aleutian Peninsula, which is in the Alaska Peninsula, but they call it as Aleutian Peninsula back then. Also, the most active volcano in the Aleutian volcanic arc was Pava volcano. Climate in Aleutian Island looks different than the rest of Alaska's region. So what kind of climate do we have? Mostly subarctic climate. It's a long period of cold weather with a short period of summer. By fauna, a variety of bears mostly could be found in Alaska, hence polar bear is the Alaskan's mascot. These are a few sketches of what happened when the eruption took place. Moving on to the war strike. So what did happen during Russian colonization? Due to Russians' interest on colonial, 3 saints in the colony was found at Kodak Island in 1784. Although US had a slow start on acknowledging the Alaskan land's valuable and rich resources, they managed to notify Alaskan as the 49th state. Finally, the Battle of Aleutian Island. Prior to World War II, Japanese wanted to invade a US property, which is the Aleutian Island. Eventually, the Japanese had evacuated the entire garrison several weeks before the war took place, thanks to several days of skirting by the American commanders. Thank you, and I would like to pass the presentation to Ayn.
I'm sorry, Ayn is having a line problem.
Okay. So who will okay, Ain, ada? Who will help her to present her slide? Any one of you, Izati or Afrina, Nadira?
Hello.
Hello, yes. Sure,
Hello.
Ain.
Boleh dengar tak?
Boleh.
Okay, I'm Syada Ain. And I will present the culture
Okay.
festival in Eliot. There are a few activities or festival in Eliot. Number one is Golden Day. As bank managers dress up as sordor miners and waitresses wear fluffy outfits. The festival includes costume contests, Alaska's largest parade, food race, a BBQ cook-off, and a rededication of the Philip Pedder Monument. Number two, Festival of Native Art is a celebration of native culture that includes dance, music, traditional arts, and performance from Alaska main cultural group as well as other groups from outside of Alaska. Number three, Alaska State Fair. It is a typical state fair with all of the animal, food booths, business, and non-profit vendors, music, performance, and interactive event for attendees to enjoy. Number four, the Anchorage Fair Rendezvous, aka Randy. It began as a sport tournament for miners and trappers. It is a combination of history and modern day fun with carnival ride. Next, the Iditarod Trail Slide Dog Race. Group can experience the world's longest winter ultra marathon. It's slightly reminiscent of the Saran Run, a Saran Run that brought Life Saving Serum to the Nome and nearby village. Next, Alaska Folk Festival. This week-long gathering of local and national performers in the Americana and folk tradition. The performances are free and open to the public. And the last one is Celebration. Celebration is open to the public as clients and hosts share their culture, stories, and art. Next slide. Yang tadi. Ceremony of Death is one of their culture too. For ceremony, various group ceremonies are held regularly by Unanga. These include large celebration. In order to remember and honor the dead, the host has to distribute
Okay, ada lag sikit di bahagian syuhada Ain. I think maybe one of you can help her by representing her slide. One of you.
I will start.
All right. Okay, Izati. Okay.
Wait. On the camera, right?
Yep.
Okay. So about the ceremonies, various group ceremonies are held regularly by honored, and these include large celebrities in order to remember and honor the dead. The host has to distribute food and items to the invite guests and make lively entertainment such as singing and dancing. In addition, such an event has provided a variety of functions including underlining the value of partnership and strengthening as well as enhancing the social standing of the host. Next, from the dead day they use a treatment. The treatment of the dead is reflecting their belief in non-exist aspect of the human spirit and in line with the level differences in their society. Unanga have many ways to treat their deceased family relatives as well as friends. Much of this comes from archaeological evidence as burial practice changed after the Eurasians arrived in the region. Perhaps the most common form of burial throughout the province is to place a corpse in a hole dug into the ground near Brabaras in a village. The village called Brabaras or something like that. Okay, next is an oval-shaped hole is dug about 3 feet deep as easy to reach for digging using small hand tools, and 4 feet long, and the body is placed in it in a bent position with the leg and arm bent to the chest. Grave items such as beds and labyrinths and can accompany their funeral. That's for the...
Mira.
Okay, so kau dah deal? Okay.
Alright.
I will continue. Next slide. So next is the cushion, food and beverage. Sorry. For food, there are have oyster and Alaskan economical salmonid fish species are main food, such as smoked chum salmon and alert salmon pie. And also for their beverage is only 2 beverages, such as coffee and tea. Thank you. So we go to the next presenter. Sorry.
Okay, hi, I'm Izian Faria Auni binti Ajini. So now I will present about clothing and marriage. Okay, so the Alo tribe clothes were made from animal skins and furs from sea lions, whales, or sea otter. Bird feathers and puffin skins were also used when making clothing. In the winter, the Alo wore fur-lined hooded coats called fur pakas. Fur pakas were the traditional clothing that was developed and used by the Inuit tribe and worn by many other tribes, such as the Yupik, who inhabited the Arctic regions of Alaska and in Canada. Next, for fishing trips in their kayaks, the men would wear a light waterproof coat, generally made from sea otter intestine, called kamlika. And the last one is traditional Alo's clothes is furkas, fur, feathers, painted wooden headgear, and colored threads in their hands. It seems like their bracelet. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is for pakas, where they wear in winter, and also their traditional clothes, and kamlika. Okay, next for the marriage. The marriage, as we research, the marriage were pre-arranged by the families. The groom carried out bride service at the home of the bride for a year or two unless he was able to pay bride well. After 2 years and the birth of their first child, the couple will return to the groom's family. If for some reason the wife did not fit in completely or her husband died and she not remarry into his family, she returned to her family. Besides, the undangan allow polygamy. Polygamy means the man who married more than one woman. So, and the polygamy was a sign of a higher wealth and status. And the last one is the principal responsibility for raising a child goes first to the mother's brother, followed by father's brother, and finally the father. Okay, this is because the custom in the naming ceremony for the grandfather of the child convey the history of the lineage and in it by confirming his relationship with the child. The education of the children fell to the uncle of the mother. Therefore, Alos will prioritize men, especially uncles, in educating children. So I came across an article titled family support for first-time moms at Aleutian. So it's clear here that so far the preference is more to men, especially the uncle. So that's all from me. So I will pass it to the next presenter. Thank you.
I'm Nadia binti Darul, and for us, I'm going to present about tabus. If anybody here doesn't know what tabus mean, it is basically an activity or behavior that are prohibited and unacceptable to the society. Generally, it is really related for the Aleuts tribe. Many future of their religion, belief, and taboos are still unknown and maybe will slowly lost in the future. For the first things, the Aleuts tribe are very familiar for their supernatural belief, which they rely on spiritual forces more than the other things. And research, I have observed that Aleutian used to consult a shaman, which is dukun, to foretell the future or to ensure their hunting success. And also, if there are any if there are any family member that gotten to sick, they will bring them to the shaman. And some of them will consult the shaman to seek for good luck or bring harm to their enemy. It's same with us, where some people has the ability to communicate with the spiritual forces. They also have the rituals which consist of drum, songs, and also dancing. I believe that the shaman is really trustworthy to satisfy their request. If they violate the shaman's order, they believe that they will be facing a bad life. And for the second point, something interesting that I heard about this before. When a girl from their tribes menstruated for the first time, the elder man will build a stable, and nobody are allowed to enter. Their mother can only lead the girls to bring food and drink or take their excretion to be discarded. She could not step out from the hut even to have a fresh air outside or until her second menstruation are totally done. So it's basically maybe takes around 2 months before she can go out from the hut. It's weird to say that they believe that if the girl, her tears would flow continuously through her life. And for the third one, it was stated that no man could see a menstruating girl while they are isolated. It was thought that if the man did see her, he would become deaf and blind. And on the other hand, they also state that men are prohibited or touch a menstruating woman, even their wife, to avoid misfortune or cruel death. And for the last point, for taboos, in Alaska, sea the hunter are very famous for their Aleuts men. The hunter who was lazy or disregard to the teaching of the elder, they would find their prey are cavorting and teasing around their by the is actually their handmade hunting kayak. So after all, the Aleuts trust that whoever follow the proper behavior could face a bad luck. Last slide. Okay. For the conclusion, it is very clear to say that the aim of this project is to provide historical information about the culture and heritage of the for the Aleuts tribe. From this research, we are able to understand about their history, even though the cultural during the World War II and Russian collision, the Aleuts community has mobilized to preserve its culture and tradition by creating a program to pass them onto the next generation. It is crucial for us to spread this story about the Aleutians to the community as they suffering a dark years ago. And I think that our listening to our presentation.
Okay, I can see that all your group members are good in language, yeah? English English speaker. So you, some of you also have slang. Okay, it impressive me. So thank you for your presentation, and we may proceed for the next group. Okay.
مولاي صل مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه البدر كطلعته وجه جميل والشمس كبسمته ظل ظليل هو عبد الله سيد الخلق ومصطفاه وحبيب الله خير مبعوث بوحي الله مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه هو خير عباد الله خير البرايا حي فينا بهداه حلو الوصايا نسألك الله أن تجمعنا يوما برسول الله من كوثره يروينا فتقبل يا رباه مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon. Group from Bidaun. Right. Arab. Okay. So I'll pass the stage for you to present. You may start now.
Dia orang kata ni, awak tak boleh tengok.
Ya.
Ni, putus tiba-tiba. Tu cakap dengan madam. Sekejap, kena tengok. Tak boleh, we stream unavailable.
Madam dekat YouTube tak ada live.
Ah, kat YouTube dah tak ada?
Dah masalah.
Dia orang cakap dah jadi macam ni jap. Ni madam.
Stream is unavailable. Tak nampak weh. Tu.
Bawah dia tulis apa? Cuba tengok bawah dia.
Tulis streams suspend of policy violation.
Baik, siapa pula yang
violation
ni?
Dia tak kasi kita orang present madam.
Siapa yang
kita orang present madam. Apa jampi dia? Jampi tadi.
Madam end dulu. Madam hantar stream yang baru link yang baru you all masuk dalam tu.
Okay, madam.
Boleh madam.
Okay.
Apa report link?